Hello guys, it is Gative Theories here, and it is only a few more months till we get the first Dumping Ground episode without Jody, as Kia Pegg is officially leaving. However, with this, I have been seeing hundreds of comments of people saying they will stop watching the Dumping Ground when Jody leaves, as Jody is the only reason why they still watch it. And I bet if you look at some of the comments of this video, it will be the exact same thing. Which begs the question, will the Dumping Ground survive without Jody Jackson? Let's get into it, but before we go any further, please make sure that you've clicked that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications turned on so that you get notified every time we make any brand new videos. So, before we go any further, let's just clarify a few things first. Do I reckon the creators, producers and actors have the capability to carry on the show and still make it great without Kia Pegg? Obviously they do. And do I think that Kia Pegg is just so amazing that this show would break without her? Obviously not. What I am interested about is what the fans think and whether this show has unfortunately pushed itself into a corner by relying so much on one central and very important character. Because if you just take the last two series, every single big episode has been centered around Jody. The intro and outro of Series 8A were two-parters about Jody and her anger. Series 8 didn't really have a big ending, however one of the last episodes did focus just on Jody. Then Series 9 didn't really have a big intro either, but one of the first episodes focused just on Jody in therapy. Then the Series 9 finale all focused on Jody as well. And if Jody is leaving in Series 10, it's likely it's going to be the first two episodes as well, so she'll have a big part in the intro of that. And it has been the same throughout the whole show. Jody was the first character to get a film, and she features heavily in the only other film they've ever created, Tyler Island. The intro for Series 6 was a two-parter for Jody, and Series 4 ended focusing on Jody as well. And the fourth highest rated episode of the show is coincidentally the fourth ever episode of the show, SOS, which focuses on Jody, scoring a 9.3 out of 10, and this episode is what prompted the film Jody in Wonderland. And if you're wondering which episodes were higher, they were all episodes from below Series 3, focusing on the earlier Tracy Beaker characters. And not forgetting, the longest running storyline in the show was the love relationship between Tyler and of course Jody. Jody is also the longest running character at this point, going on for over a decade, making her similar to the lengths of Tracy Beaker, Cam and Mike, and I could go on for ages discussing just how much the Dumping Ground loves this character and why she has been so impactful for the fans. And the main reason why I and others might be so worried is for years now I personally think the Dumping Ground has been going downhill in terms of quality and enjoyment, and I know I and many others don't like the new vibe the episodes go for, and some of the only episodes we as fans can all agree on that are good tend to be the ones just focused on Jody. Now, whether that's because we just love this character and don't like any of the new ones, or Jody just gets better storylines, it does make me worry I'm not going to like many of the new episodes once Jody has gone. And I think the main reason for this is because Jody is kind of like the last connection we have to what the Dumping Ground used to be like. Once she leaves, there will officially be no ties to Tracy Beaker Returns, the show that kicked off this generation of viewers. And the connection to the earlier Dumping Ground, which was very different, will also be lost as well. I know you still have Floss, Maylee and Finn, but they have changed a lot as the series has changed as well, whereas Jody's character always seems to be the more consistent. Now, do I think the Dumping Ground will just stop without Jody? No, obviously not. Regardless of whether they decide to finish the show at the end of Series 10, which I personally think they should, the fact is, Jody is going to be leaving at the beginning of Series 10, so we are going to get a full series without her. And the way this show is built, unlike any of the other shows in the franchise, it can technically go on forever as everything can be replaced. Once Jody has left, every character from episode 1 Home Alone will have all been replaced. That's including the young people and the care workers. New storylines can be replaced and reused slightly, which might be why the show feels like it can sometimes be repeating storylines used years before. Even the setting has been replaced with the move from Elm Tree House to Ashton Ridge. Everything can change, but the core plot of the show about young kids in care can technically go on forever. If we look at this show in 10 years time, everything might have been replaced again. Now, whether the show should go on forever is another matter, but this is the core difference between this show and the likes of The Story of Tracy Beaker or Tracy Beaker Returns. They were limited by the fact they were only about one central character, and it's why we've had 3 shows now about this same character. The Dumping Ground just doesn't have to do that. So, will The Dumping Ground survive without Jody? I'd say the answer is yes, but whether it will be as enjoyable or impactful or anything like what it used to be is all up to personal preference, which is what I'm most intrigued about. Will you still watch The Dumping Ground once Jody has left, and do you reckon this show can survive without Jody Jackson? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Personally, for me, I will still watch The Dumping Ground just because it is my favourite show. However, I'm gonna definitely miss Jody, and I really hope she does return. To end this video, I thought it would be an interesting idea to look at a survey that I decided to put out to you guys, and I got some interesting responses. I decided to put out the question, with Jody Jackson officially leaving, who will still watch The Dumping Ground after she has left? And over 50% did say they will always watch The Dumping Ground, or they will at least try to watch it after Jody has left. And that, I think, is just because there are so many dedicated fans like myself who will watch the show regardless. We've watched it for ages, and we will carry on watching it. However, interestingly, 32% in total said they would not watch it purely because Jody has gone. Now, that is a third of the people who voted in this poll, and if that correlates to just the fans in general, that will be a third lost. So, people will still stick around when Jody leaves. However, there will definitely be at least a few people who will leave purely because she's going. But anyway guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure that you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, let us know down below in the comments, do you think the show is doomed without Jody Jackson, or do you think it's just like every other character leaving and someone will replace the mantle that Jody Jackson is, and very soon we'll just miss Jody but we'll still love this show? Let me know all your thoughts down there, and as always, we've been here on Gated Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.